Hi everyone, this is Kilzhot from 99 Gaming, and this is The Walking Dead Spoiler Chat Live Season 8, and you can see by the subtitle, it's all about Negan Sanctuary being bombed. So we don't know how close Negan is going to be to the action, but we're going to talk about that tonight. Thank you all for showing up tonight. I know that it's been a crazy week because of the holiday, and then we had to reschedule. So we were just streaming last night. It was just random things all over the place. We're going to get this thing going, talk a little bit more specifically about The Walking Dead tonight. If you guys are new, we got several streams going on, so a little bit of a change of pace this week. So we got our spoiler chat for The Walking Dead tonight, and then Sunday's going to be Chill with Kills. And then Sunday night, we're going to start to talk Fear the Walking Dead spoilers. We'll still sprinkle in a little bit of The Walking Dead on Sunday night, but several people made a commitment to watch Fear the Walking Dead, and I do have a spoiler for Fear the Walking Dead, and I'm going to give you guys a little bit later on in this broadcast, just to kind of whet your appetite a little bit, get you thinking about it, and hopefully refresh your memory, because I got to get back kind of in the loop of what's going on there. One thing that you can tell about the difference in popularity of The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead is there's not a whole lot of drones flying over and people taking pictures and spoiler shows, so we're probably going to be one of the few spoiler shows for Fear the Walking Dead. But you know what? You got to start somewhere, right? So thanks to all of you guys for popping in here. A lot of tonight, I got to be perfectly honest with you, there's not a whole lot of new information that's out there. We're going to sort of change a few of our theories and philosophies. We're going to talk about some of the data that's out there, and of course anything that you guys have, definitely speak up and let me know what that is. If you're new to the chat, this chat just kind of works around you. I'm sort of moderating, but you know, your thoughts, your comments, we'll come up with a topic, and then I'll read it for you. If you don't want to be included in the video, don't type anything, because I may say, Elijah Miller says, Kills, can you please do a comic book reading? Maybe. If not tonight, I will definitely get back into comics tomorrow, because I'm pretty psyched up about what's going on in the comics as well. 999 Gaming is about Walking Dead gameplay. We got Walking Dead trading card games. We got a little bit of everything. Road to Survival, No Man's Land, and of course the comic book reads. I am up to like 64, I think, on that. So we are moving right along. Thanks to all of you guys. Also, I do want to acknowledge a Dark Angel is here tonight. Moody Girl will not be joining us. She had a family thing that she had to take care of. But I do want to say with the 999 Army, and I remember when Moody and Bree were talking about this a couple months ago, and it was 10, 15, 20 people. 164 people already. And it's 164 passionate people about, with The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, 999 Gaming, a little bit of everything. So thanks to all of you guys for everything that you do to build up the 999 Army as well. Special shout out just to all of you guys. So let's get this thing rolling. We'll do some shout outs along the way too, because I do want to give you guys just a lot of love. It probably will not be the full hour-long stream. It's going to be a little bit shorter tonight because, as I said before, not a whole lot of changes. And Maddie graduated from elementary school today. Congratulations. See, we have Walking Dead fans of all ages. So, Maddie girl, congratulations on your graduation to middle school. So, Steph Richardson wants a serenade on a rainy night. How about, I love a rainy night, I love a rainy night. I don't know anything about that. I just know it's a song about rainy night. So sending love from the UK. Thank you, Ellie Valentine. That's a lot of hearts. That's 5 hearts. I appreciate that. I'll take as many hearts as I can get. And there it is. There it is. Tommy Sweetass McCandless. And also, if you guys know the ticket to get into this chat is slap that like button. Just hit the like button, drag the mouse over there. It's not hard to do. And let's get involved in this chat. So you probably heard us talking about it little by little, or you saw a little bit on the thumbnail. Something happens to blow the walls off the sanctuary. Here's the thing. They are not that far into the season. So a lot of the speculation that we've been doing, like they're up to 4, they're up to 5, I think all this action is happening in episode number 1. So I'm not taking back all my theories just yet, because I got some bold theories out there. You know what? I'm brave. I called Abraham dying. I called Glenn dying. I did make a couple other predictions with some other people. We sort of went back and forth. But ultimately, at the end of the day, We were on point because I got a copy of the script, so I knew it wasn't all predictions. But I got some bold predictions out there. I got, Shiva dying. I've got Diana dying. I've got Simon dying at some point this season. Maybe even Morgan, all over the place. But I might be wrong. I might be wrong about how quick some of this stuff is going to go down. Whoa, that is a lot of freaking hearts. That is, all right, you know what? You can't touch that. So maybe Shiva doesn't die in the first episode. I'm just saying maybe. I'm not saying definite. But it looks like what they're doing is like a little razzle-dazzle. So maybe instead of, who was it? Was it Lindsay? Was it you that said a couple streams ago, there doesn't have to be an epic death for it to be a good episode? And we debated it back and forth a little bit, and I said, okay, but I might not remember it. And we talked quite a bit, like, what are you going to remember the most? So it appears, and I'm not saying they're confirmed deaths or not, I still don't have copies of the script yet, so I can't say it with full conviction, that there's going to be a couple scenes that we know about. One, Rick and a few people that have these armored vehicles. That's going on, so that's definite. Then we also know that there's a group with Morgan, with Daryl, with Tara, with a few people there that are going to chase down some saviors. So we've seen the motorcycle wreck. And then we know there's a lot of walkers that are there too. And we also know that Ezekiel and group run into an outpost that is kind of like a church, and that's where we predicted the death. So maybe Lindsay might be onto something here. Maybe nobody dies. Gary Landers is like, so you make your predictions when you have leaks. That affects your credibility. Well, what credibility are you referring to, Gary? I mean, I didn't claim to be a psychic or have a crystal ball. What happens is we make predictions. We modify those predictions. I mean, I don't know if I'm professing or coming out saying, hey, I'm the most on-point predictor of The Walking Dead. We do it for debate. We talk about it. I don't see a problem with that. Just saying, the predictions are out there. I've got videos up from a year ago. I'm not altering my predictions. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Happens. But I'm not going to, and I'll let you guys know, I'm not going to take a spoiler and then tell you it's a prediction, because that's BS. There are people out there that do that, and there are also people that take our predictions and they use those as well. So, but when it is a spoiler, I'll tell you it's a spoiler. Last year when I got the script, it confirmed what we had predicted 2 months earlier, and I read the script. I have a video out there of me reading line by line of the script exactly the way it was going to happen. So I don't think that's a credibility issue, but you certainly have a right to that. But moving on, so the point of conversation is, if that were the case, I should just stop this video right now and say, okay, this is what I said, we're not going to modify that theory at all, and then just accept being wrong. Or I can do the video and I can say, no, this is what I said, and now I'm going to change it based on new data, but I still don't have the confirmed spoiler information. So it's still not concrete. When it is concrete, I'm going to go back and tell you it's right or wrong. All right, so I've went on that tangent long enough. So what could be happening here, Lindsay, is a whole lot of Walker action. No, I'm not. It's not confrontational. I'm not saying that. And me retorting to your comment, it's not. I'm cool with it. I'm just saying I'm trying to sort of rationalize it in my head and then rationalize it for everybody else. But I still have a video up from last year. It's 750,000 views, where I compared the comic and said maybe Glenn's going to live. But that was well before more speculation and more sightings and those type of things. Because, a lot of people last year are piecing it together, like who's on set, who's been seen, who's using their Twitter account, and that's really where we sort of pieced it together. Okay, I'm going to get to this for the third time. So what if there is not an epic death? What if Shiva doesn't die? What if Morgan doesn't die? And I don't think Morgan's going to die because I have heard Morgan is still filming in episode number 2. In fact, the only person I'm worried about at this point is Diana from the Kingdom, because she was with them in the first scene where they evidently got jumped. And also, when they went to film the second episode, she's not with that group. Now, Shiva has not been spotted in the second episode either, so I could still say that my prediction has a chance. Shiva could still die in episode number 1. But let's say we want to keep her alive for 3 or 4 episodes. If the action happens the way we think it's going to happen, and that's Daryl and Morgan chasing some saviors down, killing them, and all of a sudden they get ran over by walkers, that's a good time filler. And then you sort of fast forward, and you got Rick with his diabolical plan of storming the sanctuary, because that's what we think is going to happen. And then you got Ezekiel hitting outpost to outpost. To me, that could be memorable. I'm going to take a couple of the comments here. So Lindsay Luke says, Walker action, a lot of gunfight back and forth between the Saviors and Rick and company. Yes, that could be an episode that you say, wow, there was just a lot of killing going on. Can't believe they tore down the walls. They stormed the sanctuary. Yeah, that could happen, and that could make it very memorable. And the sanctuary gets overran by walkers. I would like that. What's up, Mikey? But I do think Diana's going to die. But I'm still at this point going to say I think Shiva's going to die. And I know you guys can disagree, but I'm on record for that. I'm not changing it at this point. Gary, I would consider Shiva a major death based on a couple things. One, and I know in the comics, Shiva was only in maybe, 4 issues or something along those lines. But the contingency, even in this small group, Shiva's very popular. We've done several of these live streams where the topic of Shiva's come up and people are like, no, I don't want Shiva to die. So I think there's an emotional attachment. And they've done a couple things to sort of bring you closer. The scene with Daryl, I don't think there's going to be a long-term Daryl and Shiva moment, because I think that Shiva's going to be with Ezekiel. But Daryl reaching in, and people love Daryl, so the fact that Shiva bonded with Daryl even temporarily, I think that is going to resonate with the audience. The fact that Shiva was the one that saved Carl, that's going to resonate with the audience as well. But I don't think they'll keep her around forever. And that's why I think that it's easy for that to be memorable. So if you throw that up, thank you, Cybercat. Hello, Kills, you're very handsome. Yeah, that's me. That's me saying we have ice cream in the thumbnail. So, and you can see it right now. I mean, even when you put that up, Holy Roll is like, no, not Shiva. So I know there is an attachment. So I think it'll be the best of both worlds. Absolutely. Shiva could be filming inside the studio. I don't think so, because there has not been... The spoiler information that's leaking out right now is more who's filming and where they're seen. So they're not saying that Ezekiel was filming in the studio. So Lindsay, if I'm going to get to that point, and we say that, all right, we see Ezekiel, Carol, Morgan, and I'm drawing a blank here. Redheaded guy. You know who I'm talking about. Daniel is the guy. And we don't see Diana. And we don't see the guy who is walking around in a little green screen suit. And we don't see the animatronics. Logically, I can say that either they're in a situation where, as actors, they're going to react to it and they can just kind of, I guess, CGI it in. But you still, when you saw the scene where they were filming Shiva jumping after Negan, they had the dude in the suit. So right now, based on the spoilers, Dominic, can you stop, please, with 1,000 emojis? I get it. Thank you so much. Appreciate the love. But when you do that, it's kind of hard for me to read the other questions. So if you'd like to type a question. But if you can just chill and keep it down to 2 or 3 emojis, not 10 lines, that would work for me. Once again, I'm going to give my prediction, and I'm either going to retract my prediction a little bit later on. Within a few weeks, I should have concrete spoilers that tell me exactly what's going on. And then I'll come back and say, hey guys, you know what? I said Shiva was going to die in episode number 1. I was wrong. Or, you know what? We still don't have any information. We haven't seen anyone filming. So at this point, I'm still on point. And I'm going to stay with it. That would be epic to me. And this is the question. Yeah. Really don't only watch his comics. Yeah, and I'm learning a lot from the comics, but I haven't gotten to the point where there's any Shiva information yet. Very much so. The bombing of Alexander could be the mid-season finale. Now, here's the deal. So what we have gotten so far is leaked pictures, obviously from various fan sites that are out there, but an RV wired with explosives driving through the gate meant to be an attack on the sanctuary. And you know it makes sense, right? Alexandria's been hit, so why not be aggressive? And I think that's going to be something the fans will really gather around. The fans don't want that sad, you know, all the anguish that we went through in episode number 1, we sort of carried around. I think that they're going to give the upper hand to Rick in the beginning, but don't count Negan out. Don't ever count Negan out. But we did say there's going to be a lot of skirmishes that are going to happen and simultaneous little wars going on. So what potentially could happen is Rick hits the sanctuary, Daryl, Carol, and group, Morgan, follow some saviors on bikes, so that attack's going on. Ezekiel hits the church outpost, and a group hits the kingdom, and possibly somebody could hit Hilltop. So this first episode could be just about everybody going crazy to attack everybody, like trying to keep up with who's going to die. And you could see some minor characters. But I still think that it won't be sad if Shiva dies in a heroic fashion, I guess. That's kind of what I'm struggling with a little bit. It's not going to be like watching Glenn and everybody get beaten down. If Ezekiel's in trouble and Shiva jumps in, I think, yeah, it's going to be a little bit moving, but it's going to be like, wow, that's awesome. Tiger just gave their life. That's still my prediction. I'm going to stay with it for now. Walking Gamer Francisco. Shiva dies. Wouldn't Carl do something later? Carl tries to attack Negan, or will he be used? It all depends on when all of this happens. I don't think it can be, it's not going to be, you know, panel per panel just like the comic. And in the comics, Shiva does die protecting Ezekiel. They hit an outpost, they get overran, they get surrounded by walkers, and Shiva gets devoured by walkers. So why not have a similar spin-off to that? It doesn't have to be exactly like that, but maybe Diana, maybe Shiva. Ezekiel's in trouble, and the only way Ezekiel can get out is the tiger gives her life. At some point it's going to happen. So, you know, the question once again, when is it going to happen? And I know some people say, no, it's going to happen in All Out War, but that's not the way it happens in the comics. So why would they change it for that? And if they can change it for that for the TV show, well, why can't they change it for the first episode? So anything is still possible. I mean, all our predictions are still alive. I'll get to a lot of shout-outs. Say thanks. I know a lot of people are popping in. Tommy's going to jump on this real quick. 70, 80 people in here. If you guys could slap the like button, that would be awesome. And start to leave your questions as well. So I want to, approach a few of the questions. ClemFan96. Kills, do you think Rick and Daryl will try to kill Dwight? I don't think so because of the little wooden soldier that Daryl found. But we know Daryl said, I don't care if he's sorry, I'm going to kill some bitch. We know. But I do think they probably saw it on Dwight's face. I don't think they saw Dwight as a traitor. There'll be some back channels. They'll know what happened. But the question is going to be, like, if they were there to kill everybody, why would Dwight take the time to leave that? You know, Daryl understands that. So I don't see any retaliation against Dwight. I think Dwight is going to. I'm 100% team Dwight. I think he's going to make his move and help Rick out. I think he's going to be a wild card that's really going to turn the tides of the war. He'll do something pretty heroic. Either help a few of Negan's wives escape, or he's going to do something. He's going to get a part. Maybe Mark. You know, maybe Mark and Dwight. They got a lot in common, don't they? It's like Two-Face. Jeff says, Kills, do you think Jadis will betray Negan? I don't. I think Jadis is much like Eugene. There's the story's limited. Even if Jadis betrayed Negan, she shot Rick. Come on. Who cares? Who cares if Jadis betrays Negan? There's no way that Rick is going to take that back. Michonne ain't going to take that back. Let me put it this way, and I appreciate your perspective. Jadis needs Negan at this point. One of Jadis's goons beat Michonne to a pulp. Honestly, do you think Rick is going to ever have anything except rage to take down the scavengers? There's zero possibility. Zero. You can't forget the small details. You can't forget that the scavengers, 1, told Negan about the guns. 2, shot Rosita. 3, shot Rick. 4, tried to kill Michonne. 5, sabotage the explosives. What more? Jadis is done. Done. Not going to happen. Lisa Bradley says, Kills, love your videos. Thank you, Lisa. Do you think Rosita may die this season? Do you think she'll get her comic book death by the Whispers? It seems like they're bringing her character somewhere else. Rosita is that I hate using the word moral compass at this point. Rosita's in a tough spot because all the things she's went through. She was scorned by Abraham, became very moody. What still got to me was the fact of how quick people they turned on Rosita when she was in a pretty decent place with Abraham, and all of a sudden she was the outsider. And then, Rosita's, well, of course she is. She went through a pretty difficult situation. Don't underestimate the bond that Rosita and Daryl have. And I'm not saying it's going to manifest in anything major, but let me say this. Negan put the bloody bat in her face, and Daryl charged. I mean, Daryl, you can debate whether or not he got Glenn killed. Somebody was going to die, but Daryl could not sit idly by and watch that when Rosita was being antagonized by Negan. Second, Rosita went there with Sasha, and in her own sort of way, took her the gun, needed a partner, and got locked out by Sasha. She was willing to go in there and give her life, so she was on the outside looking in again. Then Rosita took Dwight back to the group and said something to the effect of, why didn't you kill him? Why didn't you do something? And she said, well, I didn't trust him, but I trust Daryl. So keep all of those dialogues and all those small relationships. Rosita and Daryl are very similar in character. So I don't think, one, she's going to die this season by the Whispers, because it's a long answer to your question, because I don't think the Whispers are going to be introduced this season. And I don't think she's going to be death by Whispers next season. I could see her dying next season. I think she's going to be a part of what goes on with war. she's going to have to. Abraham's not in all-out war, so Rosita, I think, can really be healed by that point. I think she'll be a big factor in that. I don't think somebody is going to be really upset if Rick doesn't kill Negan. Let's take the comic arc for a moment. You know, all that war happens. Rick captures Negan. He locks him up. Now, in the comic, Michonne is very upset that Rick doesn't kill Negan, and she leaves. If we take a female character, and let's assume just for a moment it is going to be a female character, who would be the most upset female if Rick did not kill Negan? This is a question I have for the group. Michonne, Carol, Rosita, Tara. So if you could see somebody potentially taking that comic book role of Michonne and being upset and leaving because Negan does not die, that could be your answer. I could see that potentially being Rosita. Maybe Rosita meets Pete. I mean, I know from a character standpoint it makes more sense for it to be Carol, but if we're going to talk about emotions, Rosita would be very, very upset. I think Rosita is going to be more upset than Tara. I know you guys see Tara as the person leaving, but who wants to kill Negan the worst out of all these women? Hold on now. Before you guys type Maggie, 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 all these people, hold on now. Who has tried to assassinate Negan twice? Rosita. So there has to be some dynamic with that. I could see Carol, something else has to happen for me to see Carol get to that emotional state that Rosita's already there. Rosita tried to shoot him. Then Rosita stormed the sanctuary. Carol hasn't. Carol ran. Tara wants Dwight dead. Rosita wants Negan dead. So, yeah. I mean, you guys see where I'm going with that. Doesn't mean it's going to happen that way, but I'm just trying to get you more into the psyche of what I think the character is. And somebody just said it a minute ago. Rosita's quick to anger. Carl, too, Sean. I agree with that. I don't see Carl leaving, but I know it's wacky. The kid's in college. You know, could they give Carl a couple years off and he wants to kill Negan? I guess that would drastically change the story. But I kind of like who Carl's becoming. The two toughest people on the show right now, well, Daryl, and Daryl's always going to be Daryl. But Carl and Rosita, man, they're quick to pull the trigger. Daryl is quick to threaten. I know I'm going to piss off all the Norman Reedus fans, right? But let me give you two examples. I'm just going to compare Carl and Daryl right now. This is going to be the most off-the-wall comparison because I'm going to get so much hate for this. Daryl and Richard. And what did Daryl say? If something happens to her, if she gets hit by a train, if she gets struck by lightning, if she even stubs her big toe, I'm going to kill you. Okay. And then Dwight, right? So Daryl threatens Richard, doesn't kill him. Then Dwight, I don't care if you are sorry. I'm going to kill some of a bitch, you know. Carl got in the back of a truck and gunned down Negan's men. Carl turned around and was the first person to fire at the scavengers. So by my count, Carl's shooting more people than Daryl right now. Daryl did kill Fat Joey, though. Gotta give him that. Okay. Yeah. All right, so I don't know that counts for anything. I'm just saying, everybody compares. They make Daryl into the ultimate badass, but Carl is definitely growing. He's climbing that list really quickly, and we know Rosita just wants to kill. She wants to kill Negan. That is her. If she has one mission. Okay, let's go back. What's Maggie's mission right now? Give me Megan. Give me, that's a combination of Maggie and Negan. Megan. What's Maggie's number one priority? Abraham, you're back. All right, I noticed you. All right, so we're going to bounce around just a couple times. So Maggie's number one priority right now. It's going to be a little bit of a pause here because I need people to sort of think through their comments. So Trev says raise the baby. Jenna says building the hilltop, guard the people, run the hilltop. Maggie's mission is to have a healthy baby. Okay, I'm following. I'm listening. I'm reading all your comments. Steph Richards said the baby. Got train hilltop, keeping her people safe. Tommy, hilltop. Okay, you guys see where I'm going with this, right? The baby and hilltop, pretty much universal. Didn't see anybody say kill Negan. Few people said kill saviors, but mission number one is not kill Negan. All right. So what is Tara's priority? Number one priority. Yep, good answers. Good answers. Tara's is going to be a little bit more difficult, so we're going to be all over the place. Not that Tara is a badass. And that's the thing. I mean, I guess she can be from time to time, but she's not a cold-blooded, stone-cold killer. So we'll read a few of Tara's. Death Proof says revenge for a girl. Eric says kill Dwight. AJ says kill Dwight. I'm with you. Tobin says kill Dwight. Clem, kill Dwight. Okay, you guys get it. No, I think it is. Jenna, I think that is exactly what her mission is. She wants Dwight dead. Now, keep in mind, though, Tara, she does want revenge for Denise, but I do think Tara, because of her finding the ocean side, Cindy could give her an alternate purpose. You know, they could become, snipers or killers or whatever the case may be. So there's a subplot that could happen there. So yes, I agree with most of you. It is kill Dwight, but that could shift. Okay, now, here we go. Loaded question. What's Rosita's number one priority? And this should be pretty much unanimous. Because she was going to blow up Eugene. I mean, she had the detonator in her hand. Rosita's number one priority. And then we're going to give a fourth answer to that. So we've got Maggie, raised a baby, and become the leader of Hilltop. We got Tara, kill Dwight, possibly with a subplot, maybe with Cindy coming into the group. And now we got Rosita, and it's going to be almost unanimous. It's kill Negan. There's no doubt that that's her focus. To revenge Sasha, kill Negan. It's going to be hard to change that storyline, I think. You guys, and you see where I'm going with this. All right, so we're going to throw, this is the last one at this point. What is Michonne's objective at this point? We're going to get some mix on this. So, we'll just for debate. And Michonne probably has, there's probably some multiple purposes. So, I'll entertain like any of the ideas. Good point. Death Proof says, Michonne, it's we live. We're the ones to live. Trev says fight, but it's a little vague. Clem is living. AJ says keeping Rick alive. Laura Brown says killing Jadis. I do think killing Jadis went up on her priority list. Maybe more so than killing Negan. Initially, I think it was killing Negan, but I think Linda Batista says, kicking Jadis's butt. Jamie Taylor says relationship with Rick. To survive and stay with Rick. Tommy. Lisa says Michonne wants to create a life worth living. So a lot of those things come into play. All right, so of the 4 people we talked about, now let's go back one more time. And you know what? I guess this is where it's going to be a little bit tough too. This might be the hardest one. Carol, go ahead and what is Carol's objective at this point? Carol's hard for me to figure out. I was thinking about this a little bit, and I don't know if I can come up with a clear cut direction because Carol's dealing with her own demons. And I know you could come out and say kill Negan, but that wasn't her objective. Now, when she found out the people that were dead, Glenn and Abraham, when the truth finally came out, but I'm having a hard time with Carol. Protecting Daryl, maybe? Lisa says Deanna's dream, killing saviors. Carol's on her last leg. Carol wants to die saving someone she loves. That's from Storm. The Kingdom, making cookies. There you go, Walking Dead girl. Joining the Kingdom. Michelle, how you doing? Carol stay with the group because when she left, Glenn and Abe died. To protect her family. Revenge for Glenn and Abraham. So it is all over the place. So, all right, so we got 5 really, Gary says protect the loved ones, the cost of her own sanity. Love that answer, Gary, because she did say that she can do it, but she doesn't know what she's going to become. Now, we can weed that out. So let's get to mid-season finale, or actually beyond the mid-season finale. It's going to be toward the end. Rick's team wins, and they don't kill Negan. Let's just take the comic book story and say it plays into that. You can say maybe Rick kills Negan. Not today, not tomorrow. I'm going to kill you. Not today, not tomorrow. Rick doesn't kill Negan. Rick's going to be a liar. But Jeffrey Dean is such a huge presence and such a big draw and such a good actor. He could play that prison role a little bit, I think. So let's just say, for sake of argument, Rick doesn't kill Negan. He locks him up. Now, if he locks him up, those of you that said Maggie is going to be upset with Rick, and I'm talking about who is most likely to be disgusted by Rick locking up Negan and leaving for that 1-year, 2-year pirate cruise that Michonne goes on and meets Pete. It ain't going to be Maggie because Maggie's going to the hilltop. So now it sort of narrows it down between Rosita, Carol, Tara, and Michonne. Michonne's character is so much different in the TV show than the comics because she's Rick's Andrea. So Michonne ain't leaving Rick. She ain't going to roll out. So I could see it being Rosita. And then, instead of, because this is how the question came up, is who's going to take. So then what if Carol takes Rosita's whisper of death? Whew. There you go. So maybe that happens. Rosita leaves because she's so frustrated that Rick won't kill Negan. She can't take it because that is her mission, right? She's obsessed by it. Tara is probably going to kill Dwight. No, I'm sorry. Tara may attempt to kill Dwight, and someone doesn't allow that to happen. Either Dwight kills Tara in self-defense, or someone prevents it from happening and kills Tara. And then Carol dies to Alpha. That's kind of my thought. It's early. And Michonne stays Andrea. Because then later on, I don't want to spoil recent comics. Okay, I'm going to spoil it. Because it's all over the place. It's not new. So anyway, I guess, and I haven't read it, but I've seen all the headlines. So Andrea dies in the last comic episode, finally. You know, and that's Rick's love. So if Rick and Michonne are to be this permanent relationship, they could do that death a little bit later on. You know, season 10. You know, it's going to be a while. Lindsay, it ain't going to be no relationship with Daryl and Rosita. No, I think that could happen later on. So that's where the whole time lapse comes in the comic, right? And I haven't read that far into it, but I know some of the details. So Michonne leaves, and then she meets Pete, and then, you know, after a couple years, she ends up coming back to the group. So I could definitely see Rosita leaving and then coming back a little bit later on. And then maybe, you know, her and Daryl have that relationship later on. Not beforehand. Michelle says, I don't think Tara will try to kill Dwight. I think she'll hate him forever. I'm not sure how I feel about that just yet. You know, I'm not 100% on board with that theory. I do think there could be some type of showdown. It really depends on the Cindy-Tara dynamic, how good of friends they become, and whether Cindy can talk her down and get her to get rid of a little bit of that vengeance. Because I do know Tara wants Dwight dead at this point. But I could also see a standoff between Tara and Dwight. Or maybe, you know, you get one of those things where Dwight basically, remember Dwight was there by the prison cell and basically told Daryl, kill me, I deserve it. But you know I'm right? So he's asking for forgiveness. Maybe Tara kind of gets him alone and has a chance to kill him and shows him compassion. I could see that going down multiple ways. I could see Tara backing down and forgiving Dwight. I could see her trying to kill Dwight and someone killing her. Or I could see her trying to kill Dwight and Dwight defending himself. I think all three of those are possible. It's too early for me to make that prediction, though. So whoever asked the question about Rosita getting her death in the comic, that was about a 20-minute long walkthrough answer to that question, along with many, many other questions. Because mainly tonight what we're going to talk about, because we don't have that concrete script in front that I can give you all the, you know, step-by-step details. So the speculation is still a lot of fun. We do know there's going to be some, not necessarily flashback scenes, but similar scenes. You know, Rick walking with the gas can down the road. We're going to see Carl walking down the road. Evidently they run out of gas at some point. And it's just meant to be that remind you of how it was a long time ago. But then the action's going to ramp up. There's a lot of walkers, evidently, in the first episode. So, and we know several of the things. So, clearly there's going to be a lot of walkers to storm the sanctuary once the wall is torn down. There's going to be a lot of walkers through those streets that they were filming, chasing down the motorcycle riders. And also Ezekiel evidently is going to get pinned down. So at least 3 different instances that we know. But the question that I'm going to throw out there is, yes, the writers want us to feel good, and they want Rick to come out of the gates. You know, it's like pulling for your favorite team, and they get up by, you know, a few points, and you're happy about it. But at some point, the tide is going to turn a little bit. It has to. The season's not going to be all Rick win, win, win. So let's think about this. Why Rick is doing all that, what is Simon doing? What is Heavy Metal Guy doing? What are these lieutenants for Negan doing? And I would challenge you, leave your thoughts and comments. But I'm going to think that Gregory is sneaky. I mean, Gregory is doing something to plot against Hilltop. Simon or Jared are probably hitting the kingdom. So while one group is hitting, another group is hitting something else. That's why I think you're going to see a lot of back and forth. Jamie Taylor, do you think Tara will die in season 9? I could see Tara dying in season 8, to be honest with you. I'm trying to think of Tara's value to the story, other than bringing Cindy into the group and the spat she's having with Dwight. Tara doesn't have a real intriguing story for me right now. So, Gary, here's kind of the way that works with the when it is 100% confirmed, I let everybody know in advance. So even the videos from last year, it was very clear in the first minute, and it was like, this is the exact. And the funny thing is, even when I'm reading it, people were. I started out the video and I said, this is the exact line. What Negan is going to say to Rick when they're in the RV. And I was just going through it, and after I finished, they're like, no way, it's not going to happen that way. It's not. I'm like, dude, this is confirmed. And I still got, no, it's not confirmed. It's not. And then like a week later, like 10,000 people replied, oh, you must have had a copy of it. Yeah. It'll be the same thing here. I'll let you know if it's a prediction video or speculation video. All the videos right now, the next month, are going to be some spoilers. Who is filming, sneak peeks, a picture here, a picture there, somebody's rumor that's probably pretty strong inclination of what's going to happen. But yeah, when it's exact, you'll know. There'll be advance warning, because not everybody wants to know everything that happens. We do a little bit of everything. You know, some of them are hardcore spoilers, some of them are predictions. But right now we're in the full steam ahead prediction mode. But I think we got some. I think we're on point with a lot of stuff. So Rial says, I don't believe Negan has a backup plan. His ego's too big. You know, that's a good point. Well, once those walls come down to the sanctuary, it's going to be each to their own. And just a lot of those common characters that, you know, they got their own little flea market and their bartering system, that's what's going to go first. So what you're going to see is the survivors. You know, the strong people are going to grab some of those weak people in the sanctuary and toss them in front of the walkers. They're going to become walker bait, and then they're going to have to relocate. Excuse me. I just cleared my throat with a live mic. I'm really sorry. That's fine, Lisa. I can be wrong. I don't dislike the actress or her character. I just think it's a little bland at this point. And the thing is, we don't know how many outposts are out there. So Jenna wants to know about Jesus and Aaron. I'm assuming you're talking about a relationship. Let me say this. Relationships don't spawn up in The Walking Dead as much as you guys insinuate that they do. And let me talk about, it's not to pick on you at all, Jenna, but we're getting ready to go into war. Everybody's life is on the line, and we think Jesus and Aaron are going to have a relationship. It's not going to happen that way. There has to be a realness to it. Maybe it does happen at some point. It ain't going to happen this season. Just mark it off. It'd be like the same thing. Even if there was something to go down with Rosita and Daryl, I don't see an episode dedicated to a love scene. The Rick and Michonne thing is it was already there. And it was necessary for them to take that because Rick needed to get away. He wasn't even sleeping. So I think he needed that time. Everyone else is so wired right now, I don't think. I would be shocked. And I'll go back to the one thing where I know everyone wants Carol to be with Ezekiel. Not going to happen. as long as Tobin is in the picture. We've already seen that. I'm shocked that the Abraham-Sasha thing happened, and they were able to play that off just by Abraham was being Abraham, right? But that did cause a severe rift with the relationship and the dynamic. I just don't see Carol walking up and it's like, hey, this is the king, I'm with him. And Tobin's going to be like, what? You just packed up and walked out. What's going on? Or Aaron gets shredded, and all of a sudden, or I'm sorry, Eric gets shredded, and all of a sudden, Aaron's like, hey, Blue Eyes. Hey, Jesus, maybe we could grab a couple drinks there. My buddy just got mauled. I mean, come on. It ain't going to happen like that. It might happen, but all these relationships and love affairs ain't going to happen. I will stake my spoiler reputation on it. Lindsay, what do you got? You got Daryl with Carol and Daryl with Rosita. You can't have Daryl with everybody. And that's in caps, too. Carol belongs with Daryl. But like 2 minutes ago, you were talking about Rosita and Daryl and their special relationship. Come on now. Pick one. Pick a side. Exactly. That's why they can't do it, because it's too confusing. What do you think the first episode of Fear the Walking Dead is going to be like, and when will the two shows cross paths? We're going to get in that 1 second, Rob. I got because I'm going to talk about some fear stuff. You know what? I got an idea. Why not, here, let me play into it for a moment. All right, so first episode, all right, it's going to be all these action, these walkers, and Eric's going to die. Here, I'm just going to humor you. Eric's going to die in the first episode because nobody cares about Eric. Eric was dying. Tobin actually dies as well. So Eric and Tobin both die. And then Cindy shows up. Cindy's like, hey, I'm sorry, Tara, you lost a niece, but maybe we can get together. So in the first episode, Cindy and Tara are going to fall in love. And because Eric is dead, well, now Aaron is free. So now Aaron, in episode number 2, can have a shower scene with Jesus. So that satisfies everybody. But then Carol has been making, she's had those eyes, and Ezekiel did bring her some pomegranates. So now Tobin's dead. So by episode number 2, Carol and Ezekiel can get together. So now we've had 3 relationships. Who cares about all-out war? This is about who's going to get together. Does that satisfy the crowd? I mean, we can come up with a few more. We're forgetting the Carl and Enid budding relationship, so that's got to happen. But no, Carol's going to get tired of Ezekiel, and she's going to have this love affair that everybody's been predicting with Daryl for so long. So after episode 3, she's going to leave Ezekiel and realize that Daryl was the one for her all along. But you know what? Daryl's like, Carol, you've aged a little bit. So Rosita, Daryl's going to leave Carol for Rosita. Silly, right? Okay. All right, I'm through talking about all the relationships. So this is the only thing that I'm going to give you for Fear the Walking Dead. So if you're really into Fear the Walking Dead, we are going to do our Sunday spoiler at 7:30. It will be fear-related. The only thing I'm going to tell you at this point is this is not evidently. This is confirmed spoiler. But it's not something that's going to make you, wow, go crazy. Travis, Maddie, and Alicia evidently get captured by the military. That's all I'm going to give you at this point. I've got several different lines of spoilers. So we're going to start out the season, New Frontier, and Travis, Maddie, and Alicia get captured by the military again. This whole military thing. I guess there's still a lot of people kind of making their rounds, and they're alive. So, Carol was in a stressful situation. Yeah, she aged a little bit since the last time. I'm talking about just stress-related along. I think it's fun for people to talk about. It's just not realistic. Lindsay, there'll be a Carol, Daryl, and Rose. You know what? I don't think we've had that on Walking Dead. So, yes, there will be... No, you know what? There's going to be a filler episode. Episode 3 is going to be called The Walking Orgy, and it's going to be Carol, Daryl, Rosita, and you know what? Bring in Ezekiel, just for old time's sake. So, all right, this has digressed far enough. I'm not entertaining any more of the relationship chat. So we're going to start to wind the stream down. That is a great note to wind it down on before it gets super, super crazy. So Sunday night at 7:30, we will do Fear the Walking Dead spoilers. And we will have a little bit of Walking Dead scattered in there, but it's going to be mostly toward Fear. A lot of people have made a commitment. We'll also live stream after Fear, after Talking Dead. We'll compare our thoughts, everything that we think about the show, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to do that for a few weeks and just see if we can sort of work our way through it. Rob, I don't think that the Whispers are on track to, or Fear will become the Whispers. I don't think they're going to cross that over yet. If the show gets desperate, it could change, but it would be kind of hard having two shows and just having all that stuff merge, because you'd get lost. The only way I could see it happening is if they canceled Fear the Walking Dead and then they merged into it at that point. Make sense? Okay. All right. I know everybody's gonna hashtag that. Thank you for all of you guys that's shown up. I appreciate you being here. I know the one topic we got on for a long, long time, but it's always entertaining, kind of feeding off your comments and sort of rationalize some of these things. It's very psychological approach to some of these spoilers. Appreciate everything that you guys do. We will be back live Sunday morning, Chill with Kills, little video gaming action. Also, if you're new to the channel, 7:30 before Fear the Walking Dead, we will do that. We'll also stream afterwards. And on Monday night, we will continue our random things. If you have some random things to talk about, send it to me. My Kick address is KILZHOT, kilzhot, spelled with a Z. So thank you so much for everything you guys do. It is going to be shout-out time. Just want to show my special appreciation for everybody's here. Gary Landers, thank you for your participation in this chat. Lisa G, pleasure as always. Dark Angel, thank you for holding down the moderator job tonight. You did a great job. Solo Flight, Jamie Taylor, appreciate you being here tonight. Trev Heath, Shay Girl, everybody that interacts, thank you so much. Appreciate everything that you guys do to keep this chat lively and keep us moving right along. Gecko Skates, everybody's we're never gonna hear the end of this Walking Dead relationship thing. Lisa Bradley, thank you so much. Appreciate you being in the stream. Possibly Lindsay, Maria Bello, some people are saying Alpha. I don't know. We'll see. I know she wants to be on the show. Glenda Batista, thank you so much. Who else we got here? We got Great Dane, AJ Jepson, thank you. Michelle Yang, appreciate you being here. Jill McGuire, Carmen Trance, pleasure as always. Clemson Fan 96, Tommy Sweetass McCandless. And if you guys are on some lag, if I have not given you a shout out tonight, leave it in chat. If I omit you, it's all just a whole bunch of Cov Fifi, I guess. So Gene Atkins, thank you for being here. Dylan Brewski, thank you, Dylan. Bring me a brewski. Who else we got? Northside Queen, thank you. Northside Queen is like is that Queen? Sorry. No, I'm never going to say it fast. Northside Queen. I was going to give you the popsicle. Oh, I've lost it. I was going to give you the popsicle shout out, and I came up with Northside Queen. Northside Queen is like a popsicle on a hot summer day. Rob Morris, thank you for being here tonight. Filmers weigh in. This stream cannot end fast enough for me. Steph Richardson, thank you. Pleasure as always. I am working on some comic book stuff for the Patreon site. You'll probably see that within the next couple days, hopefully, if I can perfect it. And then I'll release it on the 999 Army page once I get some opinions on it. Emmy Desiree Bacon, thank you. Pleasure as always. Michelle Yang, thank you for being here. Who else we got here? I don't remember who I gave shout-outs to and who I didn't. This is like an outtake. The last couple minutes are always just like outtakes. It just kind of unravels really, really quickly. You try to keep your focus for 50 minutes, and then it just completely goes to hell in the last 60 seconds. Death Proof 8, it's Proof 82. Thank you for being here. Who else? Great Dane. Kel says smile. Lindsay Luke. You know what, Lisa? I don't even think I can hit a note right now. I'm tongue-tied with everything I'm doing. Grimes Girl. It's okay. If you're late, you can always watch the playback. If you miss a little bit, always watch the playback. When this video goes live, Glenda Batista, among others. Not even D. Rooney. Wow, this is really bad. D. Mooney. When the video goes live, get over to the video and leave some comments. And just say what you liked, what you didn't like. I'm trying to multitask, really. I should have taken your advice. If I would have went into a song, then I wouldn't have been multitasking. No Slim Shady. Walking Dead Girl, thank you for being here as well. All right, I think I missed 2 or 3 shout-outs. Some people might be lagging behind. I know Harley Quinn, a couple other people, is Kelsa Smile, had a popsicle on a hot Florida day. We had some Florida weather today. It was really warm. I wanted to play basketball. I was getting ready to go, and all of a sudden, bam, thunderstorm, like literally 5 seconds before I was getting ready to walk out the door. Crazy. It ruined my whole afternoon. So thank you so much. I might have missed 1 or 2 people. If I missed you, just want to say sorry, apologize. I could sing I miss you. Hello there, the angel from my nightmare, the shadow in the background of the morgue, the unsuspecting victim of darkness in the valley. We can live like Jack and Sally if we want. Thank you, everybody. All right. Thank you, Lisa. You motivated me. I came up with a song that was a good segue. It tied everything together. So we're good to go. Appreciate everything that you guys do. And also, get over and check out the 999 Army Facebook fan page. My name is Kilzhot. Talk to you guys all soon. Peace. See ya.